Hey guys, it's Nicole and I have a card process video from start to finish for you. This is a new home card that I made for a friend who just got her offer on her house. And I'm using a stamp set from Avery L. It's called Home Sweet Home and it's really cute. I've used it several times. Actually, I've used it for this friend once before and made a congratulations on getting hitch card when she was proposed to and did the little trailer. Today I'm going to use the TP on this card, and I had already picked out some Copic markers that I wanted to use. I do all my Copic coloring on Gina K Designs paper. It's 120-pound paper and it's really smooth and I just like it. But I think on this card I didn't use the Gina K because I knew I wanted to cut it out, and I used the Stamper's Best from PTI. So I just stamped my image there, and then I used the back of it just to clean my stamp off because you're not going to see that when I cut it out. And I just cut this down to a smaller size so that it's easier to Copic color and sort of move the image around and manipulate while I'm coloring. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here by looking at the stamps, but I'll cut it out, and then I think I close up a little bit, and I'm going to speed up the coloring portion for you. And I'm by no means a professional Copic colorer. I've just kind of taught myself whatever I know, and I know I'm not perfect at it, but yeah, I do my best. So I've sped this up for you. I don't know what markers I'm using. I guess I should have probably wrote that down before I started editing this video. If you really want to know, leave me a message and I will leave it in the comment section. Yeah, I know these are YRs. I'm not sure what colors, and I'm upstairs now, so I'm not near my scrap room to really take a look because they're still on my desk. But I basically just used my lightest color and colored the entire TP section that I was working on, and then I used my darkest and medium color to kind of flick from the edges towards the inside until I'm happy with the way that it blends. And I like the way that that kind of looks right there because it kind of gives it texture, that it's not a one-dimensional picture, and that the teepee's kind of in a cone shape. And so I did the same on the bottom and top parts of the teepee, and I wanted to do the stripe kind of like a navy bluish color, or almost like a tealish blue, but more towards the gray end of the spectrum. So you'll see me do that now. I keep trying to watch myself and see if I can see the name of what marker it is. And of course, since I don't do these videos often, I wasn't smart enough at the time to think to put the cap in the picture so that you can see. You live and you learn as you make these videos, but I had a full battery, so I decided to record it for you guys. So I'm just finishing up my coloring here, and I'm going to let you finish watching me, and then I'll get back to doing the voiceover. Thanks. Okay, so that's all done, so now I'm just cutting out my image, and I'm not too worried about those 3 sticks that stick up from the top of the teepee because I'm going to stamp the image again on the surface of my card and then put the teepee up on dimensionals. Now I'm just using a black Copic marker to kind of swipe against my edges so it looks like I have nice clean edges and I didn't make any mistakes. I'm using from Simon Says Stamps, their frames die that was out of their most recent release, and this first one is the largest of those dies, and it kind of has a scalloped frame, and I'm cutting it out of Night Shift Blue MFT paper, so I'm showing it to you there. And then there's another frame that's smaller that comes in the set, and I'm cutting that out of Paper Tray ink. I think it's like Summer Sunrise or something like that. And I really like these colors. These almost remind me of Thanksgiving or fall, but these are the ones that I chose to match my teepee. So I'm cutting both of those out. The smaller frame is just a regular rectangle. It doesn't have any scallop or anything to it. And then my base of my card, which you'll see me make in a second, is from MFT, and I think it's called Wet Cement. I'm really guessing all these names because, of course, I didn't bring my supplies upstairs, but I believe it's called Wet Cement. And it's this gray, almost white. It's so pale gray, but it just has a nice, lovely tone to it, and that's this paper right here that I'm cutting. So I'm making a typical size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to have it folding the vertical way instead of horizontal. And I'm using my mini Martha Stewart scoreboard here to score it at 5 1/2. And this is going to be the base of my card that I'm going to adhere those 2 frames to. I'm going extremely slow here. I think it's because I'm watching a movie. It's so funny. I don't know what, as I turn my camera on, I don't know what I'm doing later on when I go back to edit it. I don't know if I went to go get something here or what I'm doing. But yes, now I'm going to glue down both of these frames onto my card. And notice I didn't fold my card yet and use my bone folder to kind of, make the crease, because I want to keep it flat so that I can stamp on it and stamp my sentiment on there too. And I'm using glossy accents to adhere these frames. And what I do is I leave a needle or a pin in my glossy accents, and now it never ever gets clogged, and I love that. So I'm putting it down. I think I cut some of this out so you don't have to watch me sit there and dot glue, but I just put little dots all the way around the frame. And I'm laying that down, trying to make sure it's centered, and I'm going to do the same thing for the gold Summer Sunrise paper from PTI. I just love this color combo, gold, gray, and navy. It just makes me want to make another card. It's so good. So again, dotting it on, trying to carefully pick it up. And you have to be careful with glossy accents, because if you don't center it the way you want it and you kind of move it, it leaves kind of like a glossy residue when it dries. So I try to be really careful. I think at this time I forgot that I got gel multi-matte medium from Vanessa's store, which is Butterfly Reflections ink, and I probably should have used that. That would have probably been a better adhesive. And something stuck to my frame. I don't know, it was like a little black piece of fiber, so I just used my craft knife to sort of scratch it off the surface because it was stuck to the glue. And that's it. I'm sticking my little pin back in my glossy accent so it doesn't clog, and I'm trying to figure out where I want my teepee. In retrospect, looking at this now, I kind of wish I moved my teepee up about 1/4 of an inch, but it's okay. It all came out well. I wasn't sure what sentiment I was going to use, so I thought I had left enough room for the sentiment below, but it was kind of a tight fit. So now I'm using Memento ink to again stamp the teepee on the gray cardstock so that I can line my other teepee up over it, and those little twigs will still be a part of the teepee, and it'll just look dimensional because I'm going to stick it on some dimensional adhesive right above that stamped image. So I'm pressing that down nice and firm, making sure I have it lined up, using my grid mat to do so. And I definitely give it firm pressure because I want to make sure I don't mess it up. So now I'm just adding some dimensional adhesive to the back of my image here. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before in a video, but my dimensional adhesive I get at Big Lots. It's in like the framing section. It comes in a pretty big roll and it's only $1.50. So every time I go to Big Lots, I basically buy everything they have. I spend like $10 on adhesive, and then for a year I don't need any dimensional adhesive, and it works really good. I learned that tip from someone else's video. I wish I could give them credit, but it was when I first started watching YouTube videos, and it was just a random haul video that I saw. So now I'm sort of contemplating my sentiment, and I end up going with congratulations on your new home, even though they haven't technically moved in yet. I figured that one was the most suitable or appropriate.
What are you having for breakfast?
So I decided to use my grid here to line my sentiment up on, and then as soon as I got it where I wanted, I pick it up with the acrylic block. And I'm going to use some Hero Arts Navy ink to stamp it. So I'm just looking in my drawer to try to find the ink that I want. And that's going to go right below the teepee, which is why I wish it was just maybe 1/4 of an inch higher. I mean, it fit perfectly, but, and you'll see in the final photos it looks okay, but I just wish it was just slightly higher. It would have looked a little better, in my opinion. And now I'm just adhering on my teepee that I Copic colored. And I decide after doing this that this card needs something else, and I would like to incorporate a new color. I just think it needs a little splash of color, so I use my Rhubarb Stock Red from Memento Luxe ink, and I stamp this heart right on the center of the home. And later on I add a few other hearts as well, just because I felt like it needed it. So before I do that, I move on to the inside of the card. I just have some more of that Stamper's Best paper, and I have 2 colors of ink, I think Danube Blue from Memento Luxe and then Dandelion. And the stamp comes with like 3 little diamonds that are kind of this tribal pattern, and I just picked 2 of them and started stamping them continuously in a pattern over here. I wish I would have used a more golder tone yellow instead of such a yellowy yellow, but it's okay, it still looks good. And I'm just randomly stamping that in no rhyme or reason, just trying to create a little bit of a pattern here in the corner to give the card some depth. Not really giving too much concentration on if I'm straight or, you know, I think that that's the beauty of a handmade card, is that it looks good no matter what you do. So I'm just stamping till I'm satisfied with the amount that I have. I think I add 1 more line of the blue, and I think that I'm good. And I decided to add another sentiment on the inside, which is this little sentiment that says "Welcome Home." And I stamped that also in the Danube Blue, or I'm sorry, Home Sweet Home. And that's it. That's the inside of my card. So now I'm going to adhere that to the inside so that I can call that done. And here you can really tell that that card is gray now that it's against white paper. I try to zoom the camera out for you so that you can see better what I'm doing. And now this is where I'm taking a look at my card and I'm saying, it needs a little something else, just a little too plain. And I decide to add some more hearts, almost coming out of the teepee, like the teepee's filled with love. So the set comes with a couple different hearts. Some are an outline of a heart and some are filled hearts. So I do 1 more filled heart and then 2 outlines of hearts in a smaller size. And one thing I don't do on camera is I fill the 2 filled hearts with glossy accents. So you'll see those in the final photo of the card. And if you see that block on the top right hand side, that's just where I'm collecting all my dirty stamps, and I clean them all at the end of making the card instead of, you know, cleaning in between, because that just takes up too much time. And that's it, guys. That's going to be the card. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.